Aries, this is your January 2025 soul story. If you have a sun rising or moon in the sign, this is your reading. Welcome to a new year. Welcome to my channel. It's Romy. Thanks so much for joining me and tuning in. We're opening up this month with the energy of the Emperor, and something new is sparking in you in January, and you just want to sit with it for a while. Particularly in the first week or two, there's a lot of water energy coming in to support, I think, a deeper review of perhaps how you have been emotionally handling things. On the 2nd, asteroid goddess Vesta shifts into Scorpio. Profound transformational healing as she focuses her mind on what needs to be addressed, and is actually quite relentless in the pursuit of really understanding that, and at the same time holding the sacred space for that inner flame to be ignited or reignited perhaps. Now, the same day, Mars, your ruling planet, is opposite Pluto, and there's a little bit of a tense sort of friction around that time, and so you might be leaning in a little bit to some power dynamics and push-pull energy. What I will say is there's a high degree of sensitivity in the first part of January. That's also being amplified by the fact that we've got Venus shifting into Pisces on the 3rd, but it's this Mars in retrograde moving into the sign of Cancer on the 6th. And what you can expect is that people are perhaps feeling a little bit overly triggered. Sometimes that can bring about somewhat of a passive-aggressive energy. And it's sort of that feeling of, I don't quite know what I've done right now. The thing that's important, particularly as the Emperor shows up for you, is I think it helps you to get a handle on something, particularly where you may have felt that your emotion and your response on an emotional level got in the way of like the bigger picture for you. And one of the things I really feel for Aries for this month of January is that the tables will turn. So perhaps there's something that you need to let go. And maybe it didn't happen how you imagined, but you also haven't seen the full story play out yet. Now, you are in a strong position, actually maybe stronger than you think you are right now. You know, you might have a little bit of a narrow lens and perhaps sort of feeling in still to some slightly ouchy energy. But actually, as we approach that full moon in Cancer on the 13th, there's a huge sort of clearing feeling around that. Now, we've got King of Wands. These two, this is what I'm talking about when I'm saying that there's something new sparking in you. Like, they're really sort of mobilizing their energy together and saying, okay, there's something that we've got to focus on here. There's something that's really important. Now, we're in 10th house energy through Capricorn season for you. And there will be a review of your kind of highlight reel, particularly, you know, in work and career as you begin this new year. And the question I think you're asking yourself is like, well, who am I in 2025? And on a day-to-day basis, what is my truth today? These two tell me that there's a rising sense of confidence actually in one specific way, and it may be because you felt at times that, you know, you almost hit rock bottom, or it got to a point where you thought, I'm never going to be able to handle this or manage this, and you did. And then there's that sort of realization that's like, okay, I've got the resiliency, and now this is my comeback. This is my opportunity to reevaluate and set the agenda and the plan anew. And I think that you have some fire in your belly with regards to something. There's a deeper desire to want to initiate. Now, yes, perhaps that Mars retrograde, you know, is going to slow things down, and again, you know, is having you go back over old ground emotionally. It's also going to help you, by the way, Aries, ensure that you're protecting something or putting measures in place that will protect things. That's going to make sure that there's more balance and harmony in your emotional well-being. And I think that builds stronger foundations as well. So be open to how the insights and the inspirations show up in that capacity, right? Mercury shifts into Capricorn on the 8th of the month, and you know, there's a deliberate sort of quality that you can bring to discussions and conversations around this time. We've also got a change in the lunar nodes, right, coming out of Aries and moving into Pisces and Virgo on the 11th, so that's going to be notable. Now the Five of Cups suggests that I want to say, you know, you will get there, right, but right now you're here. And where you are, if you allow it to be, can be something of beauty. You might be leaning into what's been lost, or to what hadn't worked out in the way that you'd expected, or the realization that you just don't have quite enough. But all of this energy is so much more powerful than what is coming up or coming to the surface with regards to the Five of Cups. Okay, this is this awareness that, again, on an emotional level, sometimes we have to almost move through life and accept that there's a current and an undertone and a reality of a certain experience that we've had, or an emotion that we're feeling, that is less desirable or is harder to deal with or to process. But that doesn't mean that we just stop in our tracks. We have to keep going, and we have to keep forging ahead. And I think that, you know, as you allow yourself to just say, well, okay, I know that this isn't perfect conditions, or I'm still trying to heal from this, or there is some sense of a disappointment or setback that I'm still trying to come back from, you can still tap into that Emperor and the King of Wands energy and feel like you're regaining some sense of control and equilibrium in your world. You have great vision. Like, these two are visionaries, Aries. You gotta like appreciate and allow and put yourself in a receptive place to that reality. And you know, 2025 in its entirety, but particularly in January, there's something coming through for you. And be aware of what the revelation is around that full moon, because again, even if there's something that feels a little like a downer for you, there's also this amazing silver lining in terms of the bigger picture, and that's really significant. Okay, there's something as well about, you know, this year as a whole, frankly, but that your plans are less detailed perhaps than they've ever been. And again, that might be just down to the fact that, you know, there's so much fluidity and things are shifting and changing so fast that, you know, you no longer want to be too rigid or tied to any specific outcome. You know, you're looking to be more adaptable. You want to understand that, you know, if there's opportunities that arise, you can move more quickly. And I think that's the right approach, you know, because in some ways that less detailed plan, in fact, makes it more robust. Now, you've got the Seven of Pentacles here, and it does indicate to me that, you know, where you've put investment previously is still got more to deliver. It's still got more to give. And so part of the invitation for you is also about releasing some of the overthinking. You know, we can get ourselves in a mindset of like, well, what was the point in that? Or is this even worth it? And you can talk yourself out of something so fast just because from a time perspective, it didn't happen in a way that you had laid out, or that in your head was this the right thing, or the right sort of, you know, way that it was supposed to flow. So I feel that, you know, you're going to be in for some pleasant surprises in terms of how some things can come back around and demonstrate and show you that they still have value. And again, one of the things that's going to be super helpful for you in the month of January, Aries, is to be incredibly intentional about being present in all things, in all moments. And if you can do that, even in the times that are, you know, feeling tougher for you, just lean into that. You know, don't be distracted, don't be ungrounded, just let yourself feel it all, because there's going to be such an important lesson and message in every moment and experience that you allow yourself to be fully there, that you'll get clarity more quickly and you'll feel in control more powerfully if you sort of bring that attitude forth, right? So when the sun shifts into Aquarius on the 19th, we move into that 11th house for you. You know, there's quite a lot of busyness coming in around that time. Now, interestingly, on the 21st, we've got a Pluto Cazimi, right? So sitting at 1 degrees, the heart of the sun as it makes this conjunction, and it's a real release point. You know, it's a catalyst moment. 7 of Cups here tells us that there's choices that you can make. Now, it would be easy to get a little bit overwhelmed, and perhaps as well, if you're being called out, as Pluto likes to do for us, there's something that you've been avoiding, and in that avoidance there's actually the diamond in the rough. Like, that's the thing that if you look right into, you know, the heart of it, the root of it, then you can actually discover how to move beyond something, or how to release a limitation, or allow a bigger, fuller transformational phase to happen for you. You are calling out a specific star, so even though there may be lots of options on the table, there's still something that you feel, this is what I want, or this is for me. And like I said, something new sparking in you, but you're gonna maybe want to sit with it for a while. Again, that message is showing up as we see her sat in the tree of the 7 of Pentacles. I think that, you know, there's this element of you that's kind of almost like second guessing yourself a little bit. You know, it feels like it comes in as a real divine download, but then it's very easy, if we've had difficult past experiences where things haven't, you know, played out in the way that we intuitively expected, then we can start to allow that doubt to erode a little bit. The trust that we have in ourselves, in our path, in the guidance that we're receiving. And, you know, January is going to be one of those opportunities that you set the record straight with yourself. Let there be no doubt, Aries. You know, let there be no doubt that what you are feeling into and receiving is the right thing, and you are on the right track. New moon in Aquarius on the 29th feels like a kind of breath of fresh air, but also things happening very spontaneously, and decisions and choices that come about at that time, and even where people are sort of making offers, it feels like slightly out of the blue. I want to even use the word absurd, but not necessarily in a negative way. It's just sort of, it feels absurd, like how, you know, something just happens, and it's almost just like what felt as a sort of throwaway comment all of a sudden becomes really serious, and then before you know it, you know, you're on a pathway and something is happening, and there's a little bit of that vibe coming in toward the end of January. Now, the same day as the new moon, we've got the Lunar New Year moving into the energy of the wood snake. So up until that time, you know, take the opportunity to really allow the wisdom of the dragon to sort of help bring together the fullness of the learning that, you know, has been delivered in the last 12 months. We also, of course, have Uranus stationing direct on the 30th, and a beautiful trine with the Sun and Jupiter, bringing an auspicious nature to the surprises that can happen. This is what I'm saying about this unexpected series of events that feels like it happens so fast that, you know, you're almost kind of like, this feels crazy. Like, are we doing this? You know, that's kind of the energy that I've got. And, you know, in spite of the fact that in the beginning of the month we have a lot of this sensitivity, there's a lot of passion flying around. You know, we've got Venus in Pisces on the 25th. We've got Venus trining with Mars. Beautiful day, romantic day if you want to lean into that, but also a day just to sort of lean back into the dreams, the desires, the things that matter to you, and how you want to prioritize them. You know, as I said, tables are turning, so do not fixate or overthink or get caught up on something that isn't worth your time or energy. There's so much more showing up and emerging in this month of January for you if you allow yourself to be open to the direction that it's trying to pull you in. Okay, this is a time when you're still in review, you're still in reflection of, you know, making sense of 2024. But there's also this realization that, you know, you want to be someone different in 2025. You want things to feel different in some areas, and, you know, you owe it to yourself to sort of begin with the integration and the embodiment of that from the, you know, from the get-go, from the beginning. Now, if you're new to the channel, our last 3 cards we look at in the extended reading, Aries, talk for another 25 minutes or so. You'll find the link in the comment and description box underneath. We'll also look at a personal question and a relationship card for you as well. So I hope you'll join me if you're resonating. Just going to go ahead and clarify these cards and see where we're going to be taking this High Priestess and the 10 of Cups. Nice. We've got the Magician. Lovely. Ace of Earth. I just love the power that comes in at the beginning part of this reading for you. I hope you were going to be able to harness it. Even over that 5 of Cups, you know, we've got some positive energies just sort of lifting you back up. 5 of Air, 5 of Fire. The challenges are not insurmountable in January. They're like nuisance energies. It's like, okay, here we go again. But, you know, you've built resiliency. And there's such a sense of sort of tenacity. 2 of Cups and the Lovers, that's nice. And the Lovers again, okay. Gonna be some interesting things unfolding toward the end of the month for those of you with a focus around romance, okay. Also just feels like the key choices you're making. You might even surprise yourself a little bit this month. Okay, let's have a look at Life Soul Vision Oracle. So this is my own deck, Aries. You can find this along with my sacred titles over on romywiser.com. Many of you have received your new journals over the holiday season. It's been amazing hearing your feedback, and please do share with me how you're getting on with them. If you have yet to see or discover my work, please do check it out. This journal is like a soul companion for you. It's a journal for life, right? It's going to support you so much as you move through 2025 and beyond. You'll also find Moon Musings, my book of sacred activations. Okay. So we are going to pull one more card, Aries. This is our Unicorn Oracle. For January 2025. Okay, we've got Not a Peacock, Beauty. Right, we're going to explore that in the extended. Thanks so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. It's great to be here at the beginning of a new year. I'm going to see you again next time.